Hi friends, today I'm going to be reading you our story of the week, which is Jack and the Beanstalk. So I'm just going to share my screen with you and we can get started. All right, this is Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, there was a poor boy named Jack. He and his mother were so poor they didn't even have enough to eat. One day, when there was nothing left at all, Jack set out for the market to sell the family cow. As he went on his way, Jack met an old man who offered him magic beans in exchange for the cow. Magic beans, thought Jack. Won't Mother be surprised? And so he happily accepted the 5 small beans. What do you think Jack's mom is going to think about that he traded his cow for a couple of beans? Do you think she's going to feel happy or upset and angry? Let's see. But when Jack reached home and showed his mother the magic beans, she was furious. "How could you sell our cow for those worthless beans?" she cried. "There aren't even enough of them to eat." She snatched the beans from Jack and tossed them out the window. Jack hung his head in shame. The next day, just before sunrise, Jack woke up and discovered a giant beanstalk growing right outside the window. The beans were magical after all, thought Jack. Jack decided to climb the beanstalk to see where it might lead. Up, up, up he climbed, through the morning mists and clouds. At the top he found a road that led to a castle. A lady giant was working in the castle garden. "Excuse me," said Jack, "I'm hungry. Could you please give me something to eat?" "Very well," she said, "but don't let my husband see you, for he likes to have little boys for breakfast." Inside, Jack happily munched on a piece of toast until he heard the thunder of giant footsteps. The giant's wife hid Jack inside the oven and busied herself setting the table. "Fee-fi-fo-fum, I smell the blood of a little one," said the giant. "You're mistaken," said his wife. "You're smelling the stew that I've made for you." Luckily, he believed her. The giant ate a huge meal and fell asleep. From his hiding place, Jack noticed a bag of gold coins lying on the table. Silently, Jack crept over to the table and grabbed the bag of coins. Then he slipped out of the castle door, raced back to the beanstalk, and made his way home. Jack and his mother ate very well for a time. Then one day, Jack reached into the bag of coins and discovered that there were none left. Once again, he and his mother were in need. Where do you think he's going to go next? Do you think he's going to go back up to the castle? Let's see. So Jack decided to return to the giant's castle. "Perhaps I will find more gold there," he thought. Jack climbed back up the beanstalk and asked the giant's wife for something to eat. "I once fed a boy who stole my husband's bag of gold," she replied, squinting at him. "I've heard of that boy," said Jack, for he realized that she did not recognize him. "I'd remember his name if I weren't so hungry." And so the giant's wife decided that she would feed him. Moments later, Jack heard the thunder of giant footsteps and a booming "fee-fi-fo-fum." He ran to hide behind the oven door. After the giant had eaten, his wife set before him a goose that laid golden eggs. Jack waited until he heard the giant snoring, then grabbed the magic goose and tiptoed out the castle door. Once home, he asked the goose to lay a golden egg, and, to his amazement, the goose did. Surely our worries are over now, thought Jack. But one morning, the magic goose stopped laying eggs, and Jack couldn't understand why. The answer must be in the castle, thought Jack, so he decided to travel there once more. This time, Jack entered the castle on his own and hid in a copper pot. From there, he heard the giant say, what do we think the giant's going to say? What do you think he's going to say? See, he says, "Fee-fi-fo-fum." Jack peeked out and saw him sitting at the table with a golden harp that sang to him. As soon as the giant was asleep, Jack grabbed the golden harp and ran. But the harp called out, "Master, master!" and woke the giant before Jack could escape. Jack ran faster than the wind, but even so, the giant was quickly catching up. Jack made good time down the beanstalk, and so did the giant. The earth was still a few feet away. Jack saw his mother and called out, "Bring me an axe, hurry!" As soon as he hit the ground, Jack grabbed the axe and swung it with all his might, cutting into the trunk of the beanstalk. 1, 2, 3 whacks were all it took. Then down came the beanstalk and the giant, both crashing to the earth below. The golden harp enjoyed its new home and sang happily every morning. And once again, the magic goose laid her golden eggs. At last, the days of worry were over for Jack and his mother, and they lived happily ever after. All right, friends, that was Jack and the Beanstalk. I hope you enjoyed listening, and I'll talk to you later, friends.